Let me greet you on our webinar dedicated to digital risks happened in the world in 2020 and the ones we presume to happen in 2021. So first of all, Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Successfully passed. So I wish you in this new year much more health and much more happiness to you and your entire families. So I wish all those lockdowns all over the world will end very soon. I wish you, and I believe that this will happen. But you know, at the same moment, those lockdowns happened to be the reason of like the most interesting scamming trends which happened in 2020, and so we're going to talk about it today. So my name is Dmitry Tunkin, and I'm responsible here at Group IB for the development of digital risk protection in Europe. So I'm speaking to you from Amsterdam. Yep, so we have a total lockdown here too, and it's a pity for me, and that's why I wish you that all these lockdowns will end. So let's start, let's move forward, and this is a small agenda of our today discussion. So the things which I'm going to talk about. So the first is scams versus phishing issues. As you may know, so phishing is a well-recognized, a well-known issue. Lots of cybersecurity companies, lots of regulators like ICANN and other local ones are speaking and are talking and are researching also this topic. But what about scamming issues? You know, not so many, and I will explain you why. So the second point is evolution of major scam in 2019, because this is the line which lead us to the huge scam in 2020, and a so-called classic scam expansion which happened also in 2020, and which we presume to be, I would say, developing and expanding more and more in 2021. So let's start from the main cause, from the overall picture of what's happening nowadays in the internet. So as soon as this coronavirus disaster happened just a year ago, yep. So lots of lockdowns, lots of restrictions happened, and many of you guys, many of your customers, maybe many of your relatives happen to be locked at home with no availability to visit maybe really a local shop, maybe a banking branch, etc. So lots of restrictions, lots of lockdowns, and this definitely led to increase of internet traffic, to the expansion of internet services, to the expansion of the ways of attracting traffic to the pages of any companies who are developing their business, who are trying and who are developing their business among the internet. So look at these numbers. So the number of internet users is growing day by day. This is not very interesting, but we just needed to place this column here. But what is really worth mentioning that the number of online stores grew up twice just per the last year. And it is really a huge number of online shops. So many local stores, many local, I would say, restaurants and cafes, many local other people who were maintaining their businesses only offline started to invent something online. And it means that they're not so deep in the case, they're not so familiar with these cybersecurity things, they don't really know what is going on sometimes. And this is the main reason of our today's webinar. So the second point why those internet services are growing so fast, that's the tailored offers. So people understood that to grab more traffic, to increase the conversion from those traffic to real purchases, they need to make their offers more tailored. This happened, and this led to a kind of a success. From 10 to 40% of tailored offers are really working, and it is awesome. What about the third main point, the third main number, which should be mentioned today, that the 40% of sellers are using social networks like Instagram, Facebook, and many others, also local ones, to attract people to their pages, to their stores. So they don't have enough maybe money or enough skills to build a dedicated portal to spread it out all over the internet. So they attract people via social media. This is like the real number, and let's move forward. So I think many of you guys are really deep in the case related to the phishing issues. So you're researching those issues day by day. You know that we, like Group IB, have really huge experience in investigating and researching this stuff. And also you may know that there are a lot of ways to automatize the process of cheating people with these phishing issues. Yeah, so some specified tools which cover phishing sites, websites among the eyes of like cybercrime companies are trying to defeat this disaster, and many other stuff. So all these points are mentioned in our annual report, which was produced by Group IB and which is produced by Group IB every year. Not only, of course, phishing issues, but many other interesting and really cool and really deep researches related to any kinds of cybercrime are mentioned there too. So please, you may like proceed via QR code and send a request for getting acquainted with this report. But you know, what is not mentioned in that report, that is the topic which I'm going to talk about today, so scam. And let's now try to figure out what is the difference between scams and phishing issues. You know, historically it happened so that the phishing issue was very clear to regulators, to some even law enforcement agencies, to some government structures, to cybersecurity guys. So everybody very rapidly understood that this is a disaster and we need to like do something with this issue. And what does this mean? This means that, for instance, the phishing has a like certain definition. So it could be read easily on the website of ICANN, also on Wikipedia, and on many other websites of local regulators from different regions. So I would say there are like two main points. The first one is the phishing website should be a copy of an original website. Yep. So there is an original website of a bank, of maybe some manufacturing company. It is copied, and this is the first step to be to call it a phishing disaster. And the second one is that this page should collect your personal data, like your credit card data or maybe login password bunches, so something like that. But what happens if one of these 2 points is not like applied, is not applicable? What happens if this is a copy of a website, of an original website, but it doesn't collect any data at all? So it is not a phishing disaster. So if you will like come to a regulator and ask to enforce this issue like a phishing one, you will be answered that, hey guys, you know, honestly speaking, we discovered this issue, we discovered your request, and it is not the phishing issue. So this is maybe somehow trademark usage or something like that, but not a phishing one. Okay, and the third point, which is not mentioned, I would say in an official definitions of phishing, but it is presumed to be very often. It is the way of using of your data which leaked throughout those phishing websites. So this means that as soon as you got caught and your data leaked, in like very most cases, you won't be cheated at the very moment. Very often your data will be used somewhere in the future, maybe in a day, in two, maybe really in half a year. So it will be, like in most of the cases, it will be sold somewhere in the dark web, and somewhere in the future somebody will grab that database and use it for their like specific cheating instances. But what goes to scamming? Honestly, phishing is a part of scamming, but due to this historical definition, due to this historical recognition of phishing, we need to separate it today, into two parts. On the other hand, scams, and on the right hand, phishing ones. So what goes to scams? Different kinds of fraudulent websites trying to cheat you, which are not trying to gather your personal data, which are not trying to get your credentials, which are not mimicking sometimes to an official website, but sometimes they do. And so-called cloned websites, they're not classified like phishing issues, but they're like the first step of phishing ones. Also, there are lots of scam and fraud related to contextual advertisements, to rogue mobile applications, and so on. And one more tip, which is really important here, that all like scamming efforts presume the direct interaction between a fraudster, between a scammer and a user. So in most of the cases, as soon as you got caught, you will be got cheated. So this is like the most happened thing. So let's now look at the picture of how the like phishing crimes are growing day by day. And here you may see that this is a really strong part, a really big part of the overall high-tech crime, which is like happening every day all over the world. So 16%, it is a really huge number. But typical scam is happening much more often, like I would say 3 times more often than the original canonical phishing issues. And moreover, the speed of growing of these scamming issues is a little bit higher than the speed of growing of the number of phishing issues from year to year. And that's why scamming issues are really worth paying attention to, not only by legal teams, of course, because they really detected those efforts of scammers to use some logos of their brands, etc., but also by cybersecurity guys, because the level of skills which are presumed to be in hands of modern scammers is becoming the same to their hacking like skills, which are presumed to be in the hands of a phishing scammer, phishing fraudster, phishing bad guy. So let's make a recap. Let's make an overview of what happened in 2019, and then let's look at what is happening now. So in 2019, we discovered a scheme which was called by us like the White Rabbit. Why did we call it so? Because but of course, definitely all of you guys know the story, the fairy tale written by Lewis Carroll, which was called Alice in Wonderland. And at the very beginning of the book, so just like 2 first pages, it was described that there was a little girl who was sitting somewhere near the river in a very hot weather, reading her boring book, and the environment like around her was very typical. Nothing interesting was happening anywhere. Nothing interesting was happening either in the book or in the environment. So she was getting very tired, very bored, and like her eyes were seeking for anything to be to get interested in. And at that very moment, she sees a white rabbit, but not the typical one, but the white rabbit with in a hat, in a jacket, with a pocket watch, saying something about brushing, etc. And that's make her interested. So just compare this very boring environment and this very interesting and non-typical rabbit. So that's why she decided to follow it. She followed him. She followed this white rabbit, and she got into a rabbit hole, which after that led her in to some kind of experience, to some kind of interesting and sometimes really dangerous future. And this is pretty the same to the mind of the modern internet users. For the past 5 years, internet became very typical for us. Nobody gets shocked of being in the internet, of using it day by day, and each of us sitting on his at his desk, maybe at school, maybe at the university, maybe at your working desk. So each of us, day by day, doing our routine job, we're seeking for some interesting videos, advertisements, giveaways for something. And if this something attracts our attention, we will follow it. So this is the approach of people's mind on which these cameras are based on. So look at the screen and you may see two big parts, the left one and the right one, the traffic attraction stage and the attacking stage. But what is really worth mentioning here is the middle part, the really second big part, which is combining the left one, the first one, and the third one, the right one together. This is the multiply redirects part. So let's now go a little bit deeper into this scheme. On the left part, you may see lots of channels for traffic attraction. And moreover, in this scheme, most of these channels are used simultaneously. So for instance, these cameras are trying to attract people via WhatsApp messages, send out direct messages to some groups in WhatsApp and Telegram and some other messages. Also, some contextual advertisements in search engines, also some advertisements in social networks like Instagram, Facebook, and many others. At the same moment, all of these attempts of attracting you guys to follow the white rabbit will consist of a legal brand, of a big brand, a well-known brand, maybe locally known, maybe worldwide known, it doesn't matter. And moreover, it doesn't mean that in all of their, it is a one scheme which is trying to grab some traffic via all those channels. It doesn't mean that just one brand, the certain brand will be used via all the sources. No, it doesn't. No, they use different brands. They use it fully automatically. So for instance, via WhatsApp, it could be some retail brands for direct email sendouts. It could be some banking brands, etc. So it depends on the time of the year. It depends on many factors. What happens next? After you decide to follow this white rabbit, you click the button, you click the link you were suggested. You will be followed to a certain website which will follow you via multiply redirects chain to a page. On this page, there might be a giveaway, there might be a survey, there might be anything else, so some suggestion to you, some call to action. At this stage, they will ask you to leave your maybe mobile phone number, maybe to leave your Instagram account, ID, maybe social network ID, maybe email, and that's it. So at this very moment, this stage ends. They will say thank you, bye-bye, so see you soon. We will get in touch with you later. And on the third part, on the last part of the scheme, you will get a notification via this channel which you via this contact which you left through this page which was suggested you after the multiply redirect chain. So it could be a message via WhatsApp, it could be a message via social networks, it could be an email, and this message will consist of a link leading you to a phishing website or maybe to a scamming website. So a link to a direct send out of money to somebody's wallet or really phishing website. What is important here that this is a so-called 2.0 phishing. So it won't consist of any brands, any logos on its pages. So it won't be looking like an official page of a bank or maybe of a some company anyway. This is the huge deal because you may easily detect the left part of the scheme. You may easily detect this traffic attraction stage, those sources which are suggesting you like different brands, and lots of the companies are really doing it day by day, finding lots of mentions via Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, in their on the web surface, on their regional websites, etc. So lots of companies really do that. But the problem is, as soon as you try to combat all those resources which are really using the brand's logo, this will change nothing, because the phishing disaster or the scamming website will still be alive, because it is covered throughout this redirects chain. It is covered of their eyes, like of cybersecurity guys, from the client's eyes, from the company's eyes. And now I'm going to explain you how it is happening. So why this multiply redirect chain is so important? Because after passing multiply redirects, multiply websites, you don't really see it with your own eyes, so it is happening very fast. You will be provided by a specified link, and this is just a huge link. Okay, it happens very often to the modern internet portals when you are provided with a link to some consisting of some refers to CDN services, etc. But at the same moment, let's look, I would say cautiously, let's dive deeper into this link. And you can see that at the very beginning, it is like S10XS. So this is the name of the device for which we were searching for via Google search. Then DNS. DNS, it is not the domain name server. It is the name of the electronics retailer who was presumed to suggest this mobile phone device. After that, there is Windows 2010.0, etc. This is the version and the name of the operational system on the virtual machine which we were using for this attempt. After that, there is ICP. This is Internet Service Provider name. And after that, your IP address, which was used, which was given to this certain laptop at the moment when we were trying to connect to the internet. Okay, so this is somehow typical to what happened to phishing guys. So they also tried to cover their phishing websites from the eyes of corporate holders, from the eyes of legal authorities, etc. But gents, we're not talking about phishing now. This is not like typical phishing, this is scam. In most of the cases, they do not steal your credentials. They make you to pay them directly. And additionally, you can see that above the link, here is the key. So there is a hash key which consists of a timestamp. What does this mean? This means that this particular link will be available only for you, only with a refer to this certain search query, only at this certain moment. So after you will click this link, this will be alive for 3 or 5 minutes. You will fulfill the forms on this link. You will leave your data. You will send them money. Not maybe send money, but make a purchase. And after that, this will be dead. So if you understand that something went wrong, if you decide to get in touch with any authorities to ask for help to defeat the issue, they won't be able to discover this link. They will tell you, hey guys, we presume it was a typical phishing and it's dead. So unfortunately you got caught, but it happens. So sorry, man, there is nothing we can do for you now. And here are the results of this scheme which happened in 2019. So the probability of detection of scamming issues reduced significantly. The response process became much more different because we started to need to explain to all those authorities, yes, how to research this issue. We have our own CERT team at Group IB, and you know that there are awesome guys. They're defeating lots of phishing activities day by day. Most of those activities they're defeating fully automatically, so there is just a 2 minutes procedure to send an automated request to some regulators, and they will process these requests because we have an authorized CERT team. But as soon as they face with such things like this, they will say, hey, we need some more clarification, we need some more evidence. And if you didn't collect this evidence, if you are not deep in the case, you will never be available to get this, to give them the explanation of how it works, why they really need to pay their attention to this scheme, etc. So this leads that all those resources are uptime more and more in time. And of course, more and more victims got caught via this scheme. So this is how it worked in 2019, and this was a kind of a recap. Let's now move forward to 2020, the past year. As you may see, here is the list of channels for traffic attraction, divided by the level of the usage among internet users for traffic attraction. And the first place is social media advertising, then email, social media messages, etc. And it is like a really interesting list. So, for instance, contextual advertisements, in search engines, it is only the 5th place. So people are starting to provide their customers with more tailored offers. They're trying to talk to them directly, to interact with them, and that's why these channels are growing much more higher than all those search engine advertisements or social media advertisements too. So, talking about the scheme with White Rabbit, let's look at the increase, in numbers. So in 2019, we had around 80 domain names, around 80 websites worldwide. So this is not a huge number of websites at all. So this is not a huge number of issues even for just one country. And per one domain name, per one website, there were about 30 brands laying down on its pages to which people were transferred, to which people were led during that multiplier redirect chains. According to the interests, according to the things for which those people were looking for, considering their geolocation, their mobile device, their user agent, etc. But in 2020, these numbers grew up like enormously. So, for instance, for the number of domain names, we detected more than 300 of domain names worldwide, and this means that they don't die in like a couple of days. They really last too long. Why they like last for too long, I will explain you just on the next slide. But what is worth mentioning here that the number of brands located on one website, laying down on its pages, is now more than 100. And about the division of Russian brands and worldwide recognized brands. In 2019, it was just half of Russian, half of worldwide brands, and considering the number of average 30 brands on like one website, so it's just around 15 international worldwide brands without like any targeting to a specific region or something like that. But in 2020, the division is really different. So the biggest part, 90% of brands which were laying down on the domain name, yep, on average, were not Russian based. Yep, so worldwide recognized brands and especially some local brands which are well known only in some specific regions. And I will show you some examples later. This is some interesting things too. So this is the top 5 of websites divided by their monthly audience, only unique users, according to Alexa Rank. So you may just try to copy any of these websites and to check it via Alexa. And this is, I would say, really sad, because Alexa can see such activities which were not caught by any of authorities, which were not caught by any of cybersecurity companies, which to which nobody did pay attention to. And the first one, the top one website gathered monthly more than 2.5 million of users. And on average, out of all those 300 websites, the average number of unique users per month is 300,000. So this is really a huge number. Also considering that some local websites of some local shops, markets, entities gather not more than maybe 100,000 of users per month. And let's now talk about technical side a little bit more deeper. So let's divide this scheme, which was described as a White Rabbit scheme previously. Let's look at the parts, technical parts of this scheme. So the first one is traffic, and the traffic attraction tools, traffic attraction channels are the same. So of course, year by year, the way of traffic attraction is changing, and there are many improvements happening to this sphere each year. But what was changing is really the second and the third columns. So basically, this redirect option was not included into this scheme. It is very typical to all phishing issues when lots of companies are trying to monitor contextual advertisements, seeking for some phishing websites, and as soon as a person clicks on their contextual advertisement placed somewhere in the search engine result, this person would be led directly to this phishing website. So this is a very basic option. This is what worked really the same to scamming issues, to some false partnership websites, to some websites which were mimicking to official pages but asked for some payments, direct maybe debits, etc. it's not interesting at all. So everybody know about this problem. Everybody try to monitor it, and we at Group IB built this monitoring tool I would say many years ago, and it is working really brilliantly. But what happened like in 2019, at the end of 2018 probably, this scheme with White Rabbit, it's started to develop, to being developed. It's starting to expand. And the thing here is that users from these contextual advertisements, from those links placed in social networks, they're gathered, they're like led not to the end resource, not to the end portal, but they're led via a special server, which is like maybe called advertisement server, which makes a decision to which destination to send the user afterwards. So this is the core of the creation of this multiply redirects chain. And it works in a combination of getting information about the user's habits, about the user's laptop, about the user's interests, etc. So many things which are done typically by owner of like brilliantly made website. So lots of information collected, and the end page is tailored to the request of the user. It is specified for these certain activities, for his certain needs. But what did happen in 2019? There was somehow specification of the end page, yep, to which the person was led to. Yes, it was. So for instance, if the person was seeking for a somehow maybe internet provider, yep, so SIM card, purchasing a SIM card, purchasing an internet, something like that, and he or she, yep, saw a contextual advertisement suggesting some kind of these services, he will be transferred via this multiplied redirect chain. He will get this personal link, and he will be transferred to a page consisting of like the name of the certain telecom brand. Yeah, this is what happened at that time. At the very moment, if this person tries to reach out to Google, or sorry, not to Google, but of course to search via search engine for a certain name of the certain telco provider, yep. At the same moment, if the bad guys had this brand among the brands laying down on the pages of their specially made scamming website, in such a way, there would be a contextual advertisement dedicated to this brand in particular, and he will be forwarded to this brand, to this page. But if not, there will be nothing. There will be no contextual advertisements made by these scammers. And the big definition in 2020 that they have built this system much more efficient. They increased the power, they increased the number of brands, and now they adjust, not really adjust, they suggest to the user some brands from the certain industry, some brands relevant from the to the certain search query, to the certain like movement of the user, but maybe not the same to which the user was seeking for. So this is really awesome. And moreover, at the third stage, there is kind of some addition which makes this scheme much more scammy than phishing or some other stuff of disasters. So let's now look at the 2020 scheme of how it works now. So on each of three parts, on the first, on the second, and on the third, like traffic attraction, link personalization, and content personalization, there are some improvements. So on the first traffic attraction stage, as I've told you about the tailored offers by like local shops by big companies among the internet, targeted to certain audience of users. The same happened to scammers. Their offers started to be much more targeted, much more tailored, and this lead to this narrowing, this lead to increase in conversion to their pages. The second one, the link personalization, their like software on their service, advertising service, became much more sophisticated. So now it is handling much more sources, much more users trying to reach out to their end websites. It is collecting much more data about the user, and it is dedicated. It is made specially for adjusting the last page, the end page, for the user needs. And if we look at the last page as a like original user, what changed for us, like for a common user? Two things. The first one, which I described just on the previous slide. So we will be offered some additional websites if in the bunch of brands laying down on this server, there won't be the certain brand which we were seeking for. And at the same moment, if it is possible, the web forms on the website will be auto-fulfilled with all the details collected on that second stage. I mean, the name, your like first name and second name collected from your browser. Your search engine request divided into parts, and I will explain, not explain, but I will show you an example how it happens. Some other data related to you, to your region, to your country, to your language, to your age maybe, so lots of params. Now let's look at how it works on an example. Imagine your name is Dmitry and you are living in Amsterdam and you are trying to get urgently by the end of the day, maybe really today, so the 12th of January, to Dubai due to a business trip. So you are having a really serious meeting, appointment there, and by the end of the day, you need to get to Dubai. So from your experience, you know that not so many airplanes, not so many flights are happening each day from Amsterdam to Dubai in direct way, or maybe there are some other regions. That's why you're like grabbing your bag and rushing to the airport. Okay, so it is happening. You are in metro and you start to Google, you start to search for some tickets to this flight. So you will type the day, the destination, the departure, the time maybe. So you will do it. And at the very first row, you will see some advertisements. Here are on the slide, so premiumticketsoffer.com. But as for the first one, you may see that AD, the mark that it is an advertisement, they are marked with bold and it is placed at the very beginning of the advertisement. But for the second one, it is not done in the same way, and you really can consider that this is just one of the first results in this search engine on this search engine page. Okay, so you will click on it, you will get this link. Okay, very typical link, and look at it. So the personalization became much more tailored. So it is now covered with the hash overall. So it is very, I would say, difficult to go deeper into this hash and to try to figure out what is covered under it. So if you are trying to get this link via your mobile phone or in a rush, you will never have this chance. And you are transferred to this website. It is made in a way like the appearance of a website of a well-known company, worldwide recognized company, which will definitely give you an opportunity to get to Dubai, of course. So, and at this stage, here is a form which is consisting of departure, destination, your maybe name, your surname, date, time, and after that you just one button, purchase. You will click this button and you will be suggested a really fully secured form of like banking payment. This would be a really banking payment form, so there is like not of the phishing form. So you will be asked to make a purchase, you will do it, and after that you will get nothing. So this is how it works. This link will be available only for users of the certain internet provider in this certain region, mostly at this certain time, and cause you are in a rush and all the like forms were fulfilled automatically, and you can understand this is like your name, your surname, maybe you can adjust those params, so everything was done very conveniently. This is just a test, one-click purchase. You will follow it, and as like the practice shows, it really happens very often. So let's now move to a very distant, I would say, case, because it is connected to youngsters, to young boys and girls who are very deep in those like bloggers, videos among Instagram and TikTok posting. As you may know, there are lots of giveaways, lots of bloggers suggesting some goods for making some actions, sometimes enough stupid actions. Sometimes they ask you just to follow them, sometimes they ask you to make some maybe to grab some videos, sometimes they ask you to pass a giveaway, so this is very typical. And the way they send these notifications is really different. Sometimes they do it via like direct messages in Instagram, sometimes they do it via like spreading some information all over their messages, sometimes it is really email sendouts, and many others. So in this particular case, there is a sendout which was sent by a Gmail account, and I believe that nobody of you guys will be caught by this scheme. But this is a real working scheme, and we know at least 10 or 20 people who got caught via it. So there is a kind of a giveaway from Instagram suggesting some money. You need to follow the link and to try it if you maybe be so lucky to get the prize. Again, the personalized link, not so interesting. On the right, we can see the redirect chain from which this particular user was led to their end resource. On the end resource, you may see that this is really a kind of a lottery, so you need to try some of the prizes, to open some of the boxes, and of course, for the first two steps, you won't gain any success, but for the like third box, you will definitely grab some success, grab some maybe money, maybe something else. And at this point, what is very interesting, for these Instagram giveaways, they usually use not money prizes, but the way of like, hey, sorry, you didn't, you was not so lucky to win the money prize, but you won something which can help you to grab some more money in the future via your Instagram account, to attract you some more users, some more followers on your Instagram account. So please, here is our automatic bot. You need just to mention your account name and your password to this, like on our page. This will be transferred to our bot, and this bot will start to handle your account. He will start to attracting some more followers fully automatically to your account, up to 10,000 or 100,000 new followers just in 1 hour. And you know, this is a huge industry, and people really believe in that. So they really insert the name of their account, the password of their account, and after that they started they start losing their accounts, and fraudsters try to negotiate with them, try to retrieve their accounts for money, etc. So this is how it works. The most interesting topic here that it is not really relevant to huge companies, to B2B businesses. This is mostly relevant to some local companies. But at the same moment, among our cases related to such Instagram accounts, there were probably 3 or 5 cases relevant to business Instagram accounts of really large companies. So people responsible for those Instagram accounts decided to attract some more traffic, decided to attract some more followers, and they really got caught into this trap. And after that, we really need to make some movements to get those accounts back to those companies. So this is just how it works with youngsters, with these modern stuff, modern tools, modern audience. But what is the thing I need to aware you about? So this is global expansion. As you may know from the cybercrime topic, from all those hacking groups, all those inventors of different phishing tools, phishing automation roulettes, etc., that I would say everything which was invented in Russia will go worldwide. So these guys are really hungry. They really want to grab some more money, and this is really relevant to this scamming disaster. So this is the real case which happened in Singapore, thanks to our Singaporean guys. Hello guys, thank you so much for providing us with this case. And this is I would say, really brilliant example of how this White Rabbit scheme works. So this is a typical Singaporean telco provider, and one day the users of this provider clicking on some advertisements, clicking on some links sent to them via emails, via direct email sendouts, which were constructed in a way like an official letter of this telco provider. They got these pages. This is just typical survey. And I would say survey is just one part, one branch of this White Rabbit scheme. And also you may Google for Lotsi Group, which was again located by our Singaporean colleagues, which tried to capture and to cheat people in Singapore, in APAC, and also in European countries, especially in Italy. So these guys, they used as a way to grab the contact of the person, they used surveys. So the same stage of traffic attraction, the same stage of getting money of the user's pocket, but after the multiply redirects, there is a survey, and that's it. So there is a survey. Dear customer, you will be able to win a prize. Please move forward, answer our questions, and maybe you will be so lucky to grab a new Apple iPhone 11 Pro or Samsung Galaxy S20. Of course, so this looks like a typical giveaway after a survey, and it's quite okay. Many companies practice, really legal companies practice this approach. So after these people passed this survey, they were asked to leave their mobile phone number or email again. Please consider that everything started from the direct message to their account in social networks or messengers or email. But after that, they were asked again to leave some data, some contacts to get in touch with them later if they win this prize. And after that, they got a separate offer, a separate notification via this contact saying, hey, man, you are lucky, you won the prize, and we're really ready to ship this good to you. But the only thing you need to do is to pay for the shipment. It's not so expensive. It's only about 2 Singaporean dollars. So it's like just a fee for some postal stuff. Okay, and people really did that. But the thing that it is mentioned that the amount to be paid is just 2 USD, but they sent some more money, starting from 20 up to sometimes $500 of dollars. So this was a direct debit. So they just click on the button, OK, they approved this transaction, and they really didn't pay much attention to the results some mentioned in this web form, because the web form was really legal. It was a really legal payment form. So they just sent those money directly to scammers. They didn't pay attention because they were so happy, so full of enthusiasm that they won that prize, an awesome iPhone, wow, wonderful, and they really didn't pay so much attention to that. And that's why they were unable to retrieve that money, because as soon as they tried to get in touch with their bank to say, hey guys, we got cheated, they were told, hey, you just sent money officially. You click the button, OK, you did it by yourself. You passed through all the verification processes. You did it. So we are not able to help you. So this telco company, after our press release on the LOTSI group, so they get in touch with us, and we did a huge work for them. Honestly speaking, this is the White Rabbit scheme. This is not the scheme which could be very easily detected by any of monitoring tools. Also, you need to be really deep in the case. You need to be familiar with the approaches these scammers use, with the tools, like with how these tools work, with the places where these tools are sold. And that's why we were ready to defeat this problem. So we used our internal tools, which helped us to investigate this issue. We found out exactly 50 of similar domain names which were ready to be pushed to the internet to collect some data, to grab some more users, and to cheat people on behalf of that telco company. And within 24 hours, we defeated all the network. So this is what happened in Singapore. Also, I can tell you that this is what's happening all over the world, but for the last year, the amount of brands increased significantly, and here are some examples. I would say that some of these brands are really well known for you. So there are telco companies, internet service providers, sometimes there are internet retailers, some electronic devices retailers from different regions. So you can see this is, for instance, this is Vodafone Italy. Previously there were some examples from Britain, etc. Some examples from Norway. As for Amazon, you may see here that they tried their best and adjusted the page in much more good manner than the previous ones. Some more, and I have more than 2,000 or 3,000 of examples in my pocket on my laptop regarding this scheme. So this is how it works, and the main topic here that you're not covered with protection if you only try to do this basic monitoring of contextual advertisements. You also need to be deeper in the case, and the point here is this is not the phishing guys. So they have different forums, different chats, different groups. They're not caught by cybersecurity officers now, so please keep your eyes open. Yep, I'm told that I'm being a little bit out of the time, so let's move a little bit faster. So this is classic scam trend. It's a little bit much more, a little bit shorter than the previous one. So it appeared just last year. Why it is called classic scam? Because it is connected to classifieds, and it is connected to the direct scam, which presumes direct interaction between a scammer and the person who is cheated. So in 2018, scammers who were trying to cheat somebody on marketplaces were just standalone warriors. They tried to reach out to their victims directly, to do everything on their own with their own hands. And what happened in at the end of 2019 and what was happening during the whole 2020 is some tools appeared, and these led to the division of the scammers into two groups: the topic starters, so the guys who invented those tools, and the workers, the guys who were using those tools to cheat people. Also, there is a revenue share program which shares some money grabbed by from a victim between workers and topic starters. Topic starters get the less part of the money, workers usually get the biggest part of the money, but topic starters at the end, anyway, they're winning, and this is very interesting. Why? So this is an example, a marketplace, LebanCoin.fr, so very popular among French users, and there is just a typical advertisement on it. Let's now imagine of what the scammer, the worker, it is really important, is doing while trying to cheat the victim. So I need to go throughout a marketplace to choose a certain advertisement which I love so much. I need to copy the link. Then I just everything I need, and Telegram Messenger installed on my mobile device, and a special bot to which I get access via getting in touch with the topic starter. So I will paste the link to this advertisement in this bot, and this bot will form for me a special link which looks pretty the same to the original LebanCoin website. But you can see here, this is LebanCoin.cf. The very last message, yep, link for Mammoth, LebanCoin.cf. And this link leads you to the form of getting money. So how the scheme works from the side of interaction between the scammer and the user and the victim. I will go into that direct messaging with the owner of this advertisement. Will tell him, hey guy, I'm very happy to grab this bookshelf, so I'm really looking forward to grabbing it. So I've already transferred the money to you via this internal LebanCoin mechanism. So it is fully secureable. Please just follow this link and grab the money in your pocket, in your wallet, and after that, please ship this bookshelf to me. So this is just a short overview of this dialogue. Of course, it lasts for much more sentences, but as a matter of fact, in the most of the cases, this person will click the link and will click the button obtain 500 euros. Yeah. For this purchase, it is 500 euros, but of course, there are much more issues for lower prices. So he will click this button, and after that, he will get again a form which will presume the direct money sending to somebody. Yep, but he won't pay attention to this. Yep, so he will fulfill the form, he will click the OK button, he will be asked if he is sure that he's going to send 500 euros to somebody, he will click yes. So that's it, the money flew away. And as you may see, the payment to the scammers may happen even twice. How can it happen? Very easy. After I got the understanding that I was caught, I will get back to this chat. I will try to push my anger to this scammer to say him, hey, you just cheated me, I spent money, what is going on, get my money back, etc. And he will do the certain exercise one more time. He will send me another link saying, hey, this situation is not looking good for me, so I decided to get in touch with tech guys from Levancoin. That's why they sent me this link. I retrieved money from my side because I don't want to use the platform for like sending money to you. I will do it directly by cash. No worries. You can use the same link to grab your money back to you, and everything will be okay. And by the end of the day, I will come up to your place by myself for this bookshelf, etc. So many words. And this man again will use this link. So again, he will click this link. He will insert his credentials, click OK button, and transfer money to somebody. And the point is that this money send out happens directly to a special banking account made by the topic starter. And after that, this topic starter shares the revenue to the worker. And what about the workers? The average age of workers involved into this scheme all over the world is about 16 years old. So they are really young boys and girls who are like thinking that this is a kind of a game. They are not committing any crimes. They're just playing. They're just cheating people. It's funny. They grab some money to buy maybe some new Apple AirPods or something like that, or maybe for McDonald's or to go into the cinema. And what is worth mentioning here that they really leave their real credit card data to this worker, to this topic starter. So he sends money directly to their banking cards. And in a future, in some period of time, it always happens so that this topic starter provides the local police departments with this data related to these youngsters. Yeah, this is how they call it, cleaning the fields. Yeah, they say that they need to give some workers to police departments because they get some requests from people, from citizens, and they really see that something strange is going on, and they got this information, they do arrests, etc. And that's it. But the key core, which is covered behind the scene, the topic starter, he's not like caught. He's not de-anonymized. He's not like any police departments, any legal authorities are not interested in capturing him. So, and this scheme also expands all over the world, even in Romania, Bulgaria, and all other regions. So we have lots of examples for APAC, for EMEA, not for USA at this point, at this moment, but we presume that this scheme also will expand there, because this is very easy for young people to get just a Telegram bot and to start this cheating. Also, sorry for the screenshots in Russian language, but this is just an attempt which we located at the very end of 2020. These topic starters, they're trying to invent the same tools for payment systems. And moreover, for all of you guys who were thinking that, okay, this is for marketplaces, if we're not connected to a marketplace, if we are not suggesting something on the marketplace, this is not related to us, but yes, it is. So this is, again, one more example, which was captured by our analysts at the very end of 2020. It is also related only to big Russian banking systems as of now, but in 2021, we presume that this approach would be transferred to like dozens of well-recognized worldwide banking systems. So this is Telegram bots, which form digital receipts, digital pages of official banks. And via these pages, you may make people send money directly to your account via the really systems of these certain banks. So this is what we presume to happen in 2021. Also, to capture this activity, it won't be like, you will never be successful in capturing this activity while trying to monitor similar domain names. No, this content is not posted on the similar domain names for these particular issues related to banks. This is going around, like circling around these tools invented by topic starters, which are placed in Telegram, on some forums, in only about that. To defeat this issue, you need to get much more deeper in that tools. You need to block the infrastructure related to that tools, and in such a way, I think you will defeat the problems. So, sorry, I will just take some more of your time about trends and forecasts. As you may understood during my speech, so there are lots of scamming trends targeted to certain users, which are developing not on the same platforms on which like phishing tools are placed on. So this is a big industry which should be covered by, I would say, intelligence, of course, which should be covered by analysts, which should be covered by what we call digital risk protection services. Yep, and at the very moment, lots of the tools which were invented in 2020, they will expand very rapidly in 2021, because unfortunately we're still facing with lots of lockdowns. This vaccine spreading all over the world hasn't yet became so massive, and I think that by the middle of this year we will be still sitting at our homes and doing lots of activities, maintaining lots of activities via internet and internet providers. And that's why our forecast is that these trends, which we mentioned in this presentation, in this webinar, they will expand much more faster, much more bigger. They will grow day by day, month by month. And lots of companies worldwide in all the distant regions, in all the local regions, will face with all this stuff. But if you want some knowledge, we have it, and we are really happy to combat with these activities, with these issues together with you guys. So the main thing that, there is a typical approach to cybersecurity. It is a well-recognized approach. You know that there are lots of problems that are classified, that has certain definitions, etc. But at the very moment, there are lots of young problems like scam, which is growing day by day and becoming older and much more aggressive, much more sophisticated, much more organized. And as you may saw, we call this class scam as SaaS. I mean, scam as a service. Yep. So they're not only scammers, standalone scammers. They are really organized groups of scammers developing some tools involved in money laundering, really using the same approaches as the big guys from other dark industries like hacking industry do. Yep. And that's why you need also to see not only on the things which are behind your, which are under the ground, yes, not only on the leaves of this tree, but also you need to look into the roots. You need to dig more deeper to be aware of all of these scamming activities. That's the key to defeating the problem. That's why we have our digital risk protection team, digital risk protection solution, combined with our analysts, making lots of researches, doing lots of activities, trying to combat, to eliminate all those sophisticated schemes, as well as like they do their just regular job of eliminating some brand abusing issues, etc. So that's it for now, and thank you so much for joining the webinar. Just a second, I'm trying to find out my mouse, and I will be happy to answer your questions. Yeah, so yep. So do you think we will have the same threat method of threat this year, or there will be an advanced way of phishing scam? I think this is the question which was answered during my summary. So we presume that there won't be any of so huge improvements in these tools in 2021, because the potential of the tools invented at the very end of 2020 is not covered yet. So it will be still growing, it will be still expanding, and we will see more and more requests from customers of different companies all over the world during to this scheme. Yeah, so a copy of presentation, I'm not sure that we will be able to share the copy, but I think we will definitely share the video of the recorded webinar itself. So also, okay, so there is another question regarding the record, and I think that I answered it. Okay, some time for more questions. Sorry guys for the delay with this webinar. I think this is the reason that we're not able to answer all of your questions, because you need to leave. So anyway, thank you so much for being with us today. We are really glad to share our knowledge, and if you have any questions related to this topic in particular, or to any topic related to cybercrime, please contact us, and be ensured that we will help you. So thank you so much, and see you on the later webinars, and I hope that in some future we will see each other with our own eyes. Thank you, and bye-bye.